Sweeney called for hooking at 16-16. They'll skate 4 aside, and in 35 seconds, Montreal will get its third power play of the game. Kluzak on with Wesley, LeMay, and Greg Johnston. Kluzak on the move. Gets a shot off wide. LeMay plays it. Skrudland picks it up. His pass blocked. LeMay keeps it in. Takes a hit from Ludwig. Green comes up the boards. Pass back to Ludwig. Finds Mike McPhee. McPhee across. Toward the net. Sticked aside by Lemelin. Johnston gets to it. The net was knocked off as Skrudland ran into Kluzak, and Kluzak ran into the post.
He just absolutely pushed him, and Kluzak's just looking at him, and he's going to talk to him. But it was funny, Reggie Lemelin, it was interesting. Lemelin put the stick out and trying to say something to Kluzak, probably, hey, calm down, Gord, it's okay. Like as he skates by, he's saying something. Watch Skrudland push him, right there. And he bangs, you see his head go back. Right into the goalpost, it comes off its moorings. And they're all talking to Kluzak, telling him to cool it. Ray Bourque.
Gord Kluzak, a fine comeback story. This man has had 7 operations on his left knee. Ryan Skrudland. He's trying to get his team going.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of trying to be the Dale Hunter of when Dale Hunter was with Quebec, and also when he was, well, now with the Washington Capitals.
Once again, the Bruins have scored first. They're making the Canadiens play from behind. You know, that game at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland, interestingly enough, Bob Sauvé is the starting goaltender for New Jersey.
Well, remember when they put him in the Island in the second game, he played an outstanding game.
Here's Lawler. Sauvé has come up with big clutch performances down the stretch for New Jersey. Had that tremendous 2-2 tie in Buffalo. And he got the win over the Islanders in the one game he played.
That 2-2 tie, we thought for sure, as the New York Rangers did, that they would lose that game after beating St. Louis as they did so handily.
Peterson
was outstanding.
Svoboda's got the puck. Montreal power play. Naslund in the corner. 45 seconds to go on the man advantage for Montreal. Robinson at the point. Toward the net, deflected wide. Behind the net. McPhee has it knocked away. Naslund's got it. Back to Svoboda. Now Robinson. Nice feed to Naslund. And it's blocked. Naslund looked like he wanted to pass. Perron wants Naslund to shoot. Naslund looked like he wanted to pass. McPhee is knocked down by Peterson.
You know,
and they're on top of the puck.
It's interesting. Peterson was the one that blocked that. He looks like maybe he hurt himself just a little bit. But he blocked that shot, and it was interesting what Harry Sinden said to you, Sam, about, well, Peterson's like Terry Harper used to be. He's not fast, but he gets in the way all the time.
Gets the job done. He blocks shots. Mike McPhee, this is a fine story. He's played with a tough situation. His infant son was in very serious condition a couple of months ago, but we're happy to say he's gotten better. He had a colon problem and a couple of operations, and the child is getting better.
That's good news.
10 months old.
Without a doubt, I think he, Skrudland, have been the most consistent performers the Montreal Canadiens have had.
18,094 here at the Forum, the largest crowd this year. A lot of standing room. Folks in attendance.
Well, it was funny, you know, it's about 6 o'clock they opened the doors here, folks, and we were up here in the booth where we broadcast from, and I'm telling you, it was like a herd of elephants go running to get a position to stand to watch the game. And that is a tradition that has been going on in the Montreal Forum for as long as hockey has been in existence.
24 seconds to go in Sweeney's penalty. 2:08 to go first period. Lemieux banging his stick on the ice, so Kluzak bangs his stick on the ice. Loose in the corner. Claude Lemieux gets to the puck. Now it's Bobby Smith. Smith on with Lemieux and Dahlin. Robinson and Svoboda. Smith along the boards. Lemieux goes in front. Dahlin couldn't get it. Now Smith plays it. Back to Dahlin. Bourque and Lemieux battling in front. Here comes Dahlin. Back to Robinson. Shot wide. Svoboda keeps it in, but Sweeney is back. Teams are at full strength. Dahlin centers. All the way across, missed by Smith. Bork bangs it up the board. Robinson keeps it in. Sweeney couldn't play it. Smith hit by Bork. And Bork takes it away. Robinson keeps it in for Montreal. Smith, checked by Sweeney. Set up for Lemieux. He's tied up by Bork. Dahlin trying to get a shot off. It's smothered with a glove by Lemelin.
Oh, boy. Lemieux came in after and kicked Kluzak. Well, that's frustration.
Bill, the Montreal Canadiens had 8 shots on goal early in the period. They've had only 1, I'd say, in at least the last 10 minutes, and maybe more.
You're right. Let's take a look at the replay and the action here. Now watch Kluzak go down now. If it plays long enough, watch Lemieux in the left of your screen. Watch him. Bam! Kicks him right in the head with the knee.
That's a real gutsy play, isn't it? Oh, man.
He's going for a penalty, I think.
Good.
And he should. Yeah, he is. And that's another dumb penalty. He's a good hockey player, this guy. I don't know why he's doing this. This is the 3rd game we broadcast and the 3rd time I've seen him going crazy like this.
They have lost their concentration. They have lost their discipline. They are playing out of frustration. The Montreal Canadiens are a frustrated hockey team right now, and Lemieux is going to the locker room.
It must be at 10 minutes, huh? Because there's nothing on the board. Another 10-minute misconduct.
Well, Lemieux heads to the locker room.
I guess no, we'll wait for the official announcement. But shouldn't the face-off be outside then?
I would think so. 1:18 to go.
The penalty is to the Bruins, number 39,
first period.
Well, we do know that Lemieux has a temper.
2 minutes
the
each
fuse
for
is very short.
conduct.
Very short. And Chris Nolan was telling us about how short his temper is. What do you get, Sam?
Greg Johnston also got 2. It was Lemieux and Johnston 2 minutes each for unsportsmanlike conduct, so they're finished for the period, and they went to the locker rooms. Steve Kasper moving in. Centers, and it's broken up in front by Lawler. Team still skating 5 aside. Boston leading 2-0 with 1 minute to go in the first period. Lemelin plays it to the corner. Kordic is there.
There's another one.
Janney ties up Kordic.
Corson's going to get roughy. He punched Glenn Wesley right to the left. And now he just drew Reed Larson. It's the first time the Bruins have responded. And now Corson drew him into a penalty, Reed Larson.
Now, Kordic looked like he wanted to get involved. He is the resident tough guy for the Montreal Canadiens, but Cam Neely was there, so Kordic backed off.
Well, maybe I can set the scene here, because what happened was Glenn Wesley went in the back there with Corson, and Corson gave him a left right in the jaw, and down he went, and then Reed Larson wanted to protect his teammate and pushed Corson, and Corson felt like he was hit with a bolt of lightning. Watch, we'll take a look at it now. On the right side of your screen, that's Wesley with Corson. Now watch the punch in the face. Bam, right there.
Ooh.
And down he goes. Now, then comes Reed Larson. Reed Larson there as he pushes him. Now watch Reed Larson. He gives him a punch. And down goes Corson.
All right. Phil, I'm shocked that Montreal's game has degenerated to this point.
Well, it's just that, Sam, they are absolutely playing out of total frustration. They don't know how to cope with this. They've never seen a Bruins team turn like this, where they're so disciplined that they try to stay away from the penalties. They're playing the game just hitting, and maybe that's been the secret all these years.
In talking to the Boston people today, before the game, we asked them whether they felt Montreal might win, whether they'd still go back to Boston with confidence. They said, no, we want to win it here because of all the years of frustration. We want to give just a little bit back to Montreal.
And plus the fact they do not want to give Montreal even a sniff of winning a game, because it could put them on a roll. This Canadian team, as most teams in the league now, Sam, are capable of winning 3 straight, because there is a lot of parity in hockey now.
Here's Ludwig across the line. Bork slows him down. Kasper couldn't clear. Ludwig centers for Thibodeau. A shot blocked by Kluzak. Lawler gets to the puck. 45 seconds in the period. Ludwig with room. Fakes and shoots. Knocked down by Lemelin. It went through the screen. And Bork clears the puck.
What a heck of a save that was.
Thibodeau back for it. Neely chasing him. Ludwig has the puck. Blocked nicely by Kasper. Kordick goes back for it. Boston Bruins leading 2-0. Game 5 of this Adams Division Final with Boston leading 3-1 and a chance to clinch the series. Greg Janney pulled down by Kordick. Svoboda backs court. Willie Plett on him. And time running out in the period. Carbonneau doesn't get a shot off. Montreal is shut out in the first period once again by Reggie Lemelin and the Boston Bruins.
A good period by the Bruins. Only once did they respond, and they ended up getting a penalty. That was Reed Larson.
The Bruins get goals from Steve Casper and Cam Neely and lead the Montreal Canadiens 2-0, end of 1.
That 33 on that ball was Scott.
One rock, please.
That was the number of John Rooster Thomas. Great outfielder.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, wait a minute. One day we'll take the extra fielding practice. That big tarp came crashing down. Pancake City. So, in memory of John, they put his number on the back of their bottle. Hey, they do drink a bit of their beer, so they can't hold it in favor.
It's no big deal. It's a pain.
No, Carrie. It's called a Master Care car service.
Brakes, alignments, tune-ups.
The works.
It's no big deal. And a 6-month or 6,000-mile warranty covers parts, labor, wherever they do Master Care service.
From Seattle to Schnecksville.
Sounds right, this Master Care.
So right that fixing your car is no big deal.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care car service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
Presenting the G-Shock watch from Casio. The water-resistant sports watch that's ready for action with a built-in shock absorber. It's tough, so tough, this G-Shock can take a slap in the face and not even flinch. The Casio G-Shock, one tough watch to beat. The G-Shock is only one of Casio's unbeatable high-tech products.
The challenge is ice hockey. The power is Nintendo. It's as slick as ice, as fast as fury. Throw in your shoulder, dig in your blade, blast it in, or be blown away. Ice hockey only from Nintendo. Play RC Pro-Am. Play with power. Pull up to the start. Taste the challenge. The power of radio control. If you can't take it, you'll eat dust. Radio controlled Pro-Am only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
It's television's only official weekly pro basketball report. Follow the Lakers' attempt at a second straight title and the teams who could shoot them down on the NBA Today. Every Wednesday on ESPN.
Welcome back to our ESPN Road to the Cup studios, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the action from Montreal tonight. I'm Tom Mees. 11-10 the shots in favor of the Boston Bruins, and for the 4th game in a row, the Montreal Canadiens have failed to score in the first period of play, and they're really behind the 8 ball now, trailing 2-0. And the crowd all of a sudden is sullen and maybe turning against them at the Forum in Montreal. Well, the action tonight is in Landover and Montreal in the Wales Conference, but last night in the Campbell Conference, one series came to an end, and one looked like it was just one game away from coming to an end. What am I talking about? Let's take a look at what happened last night in Edmonton and St. Louis. In St. Louis, the home faithful showed up at the arena last night hoping their Blues would even the North Division Finals with Detroit, but Gerard Gallant had other ideas, firing in a first-period slap shot by Greg Millen, 1-0 Red Wings. And then Peter Klima cruising down the slot unchecked. Greg Millen, as you see, really didn't have much of a chance here. Detroit led it 2-0 in the first period. In the second period, the Blues come back. Mark Hunter gets off a nice shot, the save by Hanlon, but Tony McKegney shovels in the rebound. That made it 2-1, but Gerard Gallant beats Millen again. That made the score 3-1 Detroit in the third stanza. St. Louis did make a late run. Watch number 26, Steve Bozek, cruise in on the goaltender Glenn Hanlon, playing for the first time in about a week and a half because of a groin injury. Hanlon shows no effects of the injury, coming up big twice on the same player, Steve Bozek, to preserve the Detroit win. The Red Wings win the game 3-1. They lead the North Division Finals 3-1. Meanwhile, a bit northwest of St. Louis, in the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, Calgary coach Terry Crisp was chatting with his staff and his players to try and figure out a way to solve the Edmonton Oilers, who are looking like world beaters once again. Well, I guess Terry didn't find a way, because in the first period, Esa Tikkanen, number 10, in the orange, white, and blue uniform, steals the puck from Calgary goaltender Mike Vernon, has the presence of mind to center the puck with Hakanlu bearing down on him, and Mark Messier scores the goal. 1-0. Then Craig Simpson, who led the Oilers in goal scoring in the regular season, makes it 2-0 unchecked from the slot. And the great one, number 99, Wayne Gretzky, gets a fortunate bounce off the leg of Calgary defender Brad McCrimmon, says thank you very much, and puts it in the net. That made it 3-0 Edmonton. Calgary, to its credit, did make a late run, but you know who was in the nets, Grant Fuhr. He was nothing less than fantastic once again. The end result, another celebration where they become commonplace in the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers, a 4-0 sweep of the regular season NHL champions, and even the great one was nervous coming into this series.
Probably the most nervous I've ever been for a series. Restless nights during the days. I was very uneasy, very nervous. And the reason I was nervous, and I played in so many games, Stanley Cups, Canada Cups, I was always so confident because we always had such a good team, and we always knew that we were the better team and somehow we were going to win. This time, we were so, as I said, we had so much respect for them. They had such a powerful hockey club that, even when we're up 3-0, we didn't want to give them an inch. And, if they would have won tonight, I think we might have gone 6 or 7 games.
And so, for the first time since 1970, the regular season point champion of the National Hockey League, the Calgary Flames in this case, swept in a playoff series. And now Cliff Fletcher and Terry Crispin Company will spend an awfully long summer trying to find out when the wheels started to come off on that Calgary Flames juggernaut. But don't worry, they'll be back next year in that Smythe division. Well, we're just about set for more festivities here between the first and second period for Montreal. And our score, the Bruins 2, Canadiens 0.
Kiski Valley's #1 sales leader through one basic philosophy. We want to earn our customers' business.
Certainly one of the things that has made us successful is our product. Ford, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge.
For example, if customers are looking for a great deal on a new car or truck, they should definitely come to Valley Motors now during our spectacular spring clearance sale.
Doing television commercials? My brother would probably say I do a better job than he does.
I do a better job than he does.
The Meadows introduces television you can bet on. Watch every race, bet on every race. It's almost like being there. If you're watching this announcement, you can bet by phone as you watch every Meadows race. Tune in to win every Meadows racing night 1/2 hour before post time. Call now to start your Call-A-Bet account by phone with just a $50 deposit, and you can charge it to your Visa or MasterCard. Make additional deposits and withdrawals anytime. Call-A-Bet. Television you can bet on from the Meadows.
Get set for head-on power, blinding speed, more passing, more scoring. The 50-yard indoor war returns. Arena football puts you up close where the action is right in your face. A brand new season kicks off when the New York Knights battle the Los Angeles Cobras. Live Saturday night at 10:30 Eastern, only on ESPN.
When you're killing a 5-on-3 power play and you have 2 of your defenders at the top of your triangle, one thing shouldn't happen. The opposition shouldn't get a straight shot on goal. Let's see how Edmonton defends against the Calgary power play. Suter's back to McInnes. You can see both Edmonton defenders are out here. Let's take a look at their triangle. 2 men are up top. 1 is back. There is the triangle. McInnes tries to shoot. He can't. It's a screen shot, so he moves it in. Then back and over to Suter. There are the Edmonton defenders again. 1 here. 1 here. Suter can't get a straight shot at Grant Fuhr, so he moves it in deep. Now it's back out to McInnes, and here come the 2 men at the top of the Edmonton triangle again. They still can't get a clear shot. Back over to McInnes. He's forced to pass in wide to Mike Bullard. Bullard takes a low percentage shot, and Edmonton did a good job.
They'll put them on top. They do it for you. Always fresh and full of flavor. Crispy, crunchy, thick and rich. Spicy and feisty. And you can have them free. On top of the plumpest, juiciest Pennsylvania Dutch hot dogs. Nothing tops Sheetz toppings. Except Sheetz hot dogs. The the famous Sheetz hot dogs. Still 2 for 99 cents, plus free toppings.
He was a happily married detective. She never socialized with his kind. And then it happened. Nothing will ever be the same.
If you ever see me again, you never saw me before.
Someone to watch over me. In stock and easy to order. Catch the thrills on Viewer's Choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the National Hockey League, Mr. John A. Ziegler, Jr.
The National Hockey League, along with other professional sports organizations, supports the President's Sports Drug Education Program. The goal of this program is simple. It is to keep our young people free from drugs. I'd like you to listen to a lady who really cares. She's given a great deal of her time to this program, Nancy Reagan.
Thank you, John. You're right. I do care. And I'm greatly concerned about the epidemic use of drugs by school-aged children. Sports figures, especially hockey players who are so respected by our young people, can help lead the way in our fight to defeat drug abuse. I'm so pleased that NHL players like Wayne Gretzky, Mike Bossy, and Rod Langway have joined this effort. Together, we'll make a great team, and together, we'll win this fight.
After one period of play from the Forum in Montreal, Game 5 of the Adams Division Final, time to take a quick check of the Bud Light scoreboard. One other game going on tonight, of course, in the playoffs. It's Game 5 of the Patrick Division Finals. They're in the second period now. Landover, Maryland. The Jersey Devils and the Washington Capitals series tied at 2. The only score of the game as Kurt Muller cruises in after Kevin Hatcher gave away the puck to him in the Washington zone, and Muller, unassisted, beats Clint Malarchuk. That goal coming about 16 minutes and 30 seconds into the first period. Early in the second period, still 1-0 New Jersey. And, of course, in our game, the Boston Bruins withstood an early assault from the Montreal Canadiens, and Reggie Lemelin was superior in goal, and now Boston has a 2-0 lead. Let's see how that happened. The Bruins break in 2-on-1. Randy Burge draws the defenseman towards him and flips the pass over to Steve Kasper, who scores. And then Cam Neely, forechecking, just steals the puck away here from Rick Green. A weak attempt there by Green to keep possession, and Neely has no trouble beating Patrick Waugh. Bruins must be thinking now, what jinx? Well, there's still a lot of hockey ahead of the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens tonight, but one stat stands out in bold relief. Montreal now has failed to score in the first period of their last 4 games, and their offense has just gone kaput. The Bruins are now looking good shape indeed to maybe end the series tonight in Montreal. That's a look at the Bud Light scoreboard. We'll be checking in on the New Jersey Devils and Washington Capitals when we return.
You want anything?
How about a light?
Whoa!
Oh, Bob, could you make that a Bud Light?
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Did you see? No.
Did you? No. Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light. Today, you need an insurance company with a firm financial footing, a company with staying power and intelligence to see you through year after year, a company with experience you can count on. You need the Hartford, the insurance people of ITT. When you need us most, we're at our best. That's the Hartford difference.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
This is John Overly, and this is his farm. It's the Benjamin Moore Paint Farm. Out here, John tests thousands of Benjamin Moore paints to make sure they'll withstand years of sun and cold, rain and snow without cracking, peeling, or fading. These tests help make Benjamin Moore the only paint good enough for the Reynolds family and their new home. They wouldn't settle for anything less, would you?
When something means so much, see your Benjamin Moore dealer.
The Road to the Cup on ESPN is being brought to you by Volvo, a car you can believe in. By Firestone Master Care Car Service. With over 1,400 locations nationwide, finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. And by Diet Coke. Enjoy Diet Coke. You're going to drink it just for the taste of it. Be advised, we'll be keeping track of that Patrick Division final between New Jersey and Washington, with the Devils now going on the power play, but it's time for the second period between the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. Bruins looking good to try and close it out tonight. Let's see what happens next. Here's Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
Thanks, Tom. And if this series ends tonight, we will be at the Meadowlands for Game 6 of the Patrick Division final on Thursday night. Boston getting the 2 goals. Casper coming in on the 2-on-1, fed by Burridge at 10:20, and then Neely stealing the puck from Rick Green and beating Waugh at 14:09. Shots on goal. Boston 11, Montreal 10, but Montreal only 2 shots in the last 10 or 12 minutes. I don't have the exact time, as they really lost their offensive push in the latter half of that first period. Boston outstanding on the faceoffs. That shouldn't be 13-0. That should be 13-6.
I didn't think of it
on the
zero.
faceoffs. 13-6 is the correct number.
But you know, there was a time on the shots and goal. It was 8-2, Sam, at the time, when I remember you mentioning that, and then it ended up 11-10.
Tom Mees is standing by with an update on what's going on at the Capitol Center. Tom?
Well, Sam, the New Jersey Devils on the power play nearly scored just seconds ago against Clint Malarchuk at the Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland. Scott Stevens is in the penalty box. Still about 1:40 to go on the New Jersey advantage. And you see the score there. The Devils on that first period goal by Kurt Muller at 16:36 lead the game 1-0.
We welcome our viewers watching us now on ESPN. I'm Al Koken along with Mike Bournes and Jeff Rimmer. A sold-out Capitol Center. The New Jersey Devils on a Kurt Muller goal in the first period lead the Capitals in Game 5 of the Patrick Division playoffs 1-0. There is Muller in front. Malarchuk makes the save, but when he tips over, that puck is loose, but Hatcher and Ledyard to his rescue.
From the faceoff, Gould reaches in and clears it off the boards to the point. Now Kurvers over to Driver, and his shot deflected up off the glass. Power play hockey for New Jersey. They lead 1-0 on a goal by Kirk Muller in the first period. Driver has it stolen. Gustafson breaks it free to Bobby Gould, and he sends it all the way back to the Devils' blue line. Led ahead on the right wing. Here's Pat Verbeek walking in. He fires way wide of the net. It comes to the point. Kurvers sends it on goal. And Malarchuk kicks that out with his pass. At the blue line. Here's Kurvers winding a shot, and a goal. Kurvers whistling one past Clint Malarchuk. And New Jersey takes advantage of the power play to grab the lead 2-0.
It was Kurvers who put the Devils on top in Game 4 with a power play tally. He's got plenty of room. Gustafson rotates by him back towards the middle. Doesn't look like it changes direction. And it looked to me like Clint Malarchuk had a pretty clear sight line on it. Now, Gustafson, though, doesn't challenge Kurvers. Kurvers takes advantage. And it just right through the pads of Malarchuk. Could see it all the way. Didn't change direction. That should have been a stop he had to make.
So Tom Kurvers scores the goal. Clint Malarchuk, pretty good goaltender, has never won a Stanley Cup playoff game, though, starting as the netminder. Let's go back to Montreal, second period. Still Boston 2, Montreal nothing. Here's Sam and Phil.
Thank you, Tom. Tom Kurvers, a former Montreal Canadien, performing very well for the New Jersey Devils, who lead 2-0 in that game. Carbonneau back to Ludwig. Ludwig, side of the net for Robinson, couldn't handle it. Wesley clears the zone. We are early in the second period, 18:45 to go. Boston leading 2-0. Lemelin stops it for Glenn Wesley. Wesley moves it, bangs it off the boards out of the zone. Ludwig. High off the glass behind the net. Wesley takes the rebound, moves it up the boards for Bob Joyce. He's hit by Guy Carbonneau. Joyce hits back. They battle along the boards. Craig Janney works it free, and Neely plays it. Past Kluzak, comes to Ludwig. Toward the net, intercepted by Kluzak, who dumps it out. Montreal got off to a flying start early in the first period. Pressured Reggie Lemelin. He made a couple of real good saves. They hit the post once. Couldn't break through. And here comes Crowder, one-on-one against Svoboda. Fakes. Svoboda breaks up the play with a good poke check. Linsman back to LeMay. His snapshot was blocked by Robinson. Out comes Sheldon. Colleen moves into the Boston zone, leaves it for Naslund. Naslund controls. Linsman on him. Boy, Linsman has had an outstanding surge. Here comes Linsman chasing, but it's too far.
If that's later in the period when the ice is slower, he's going to get that puck.
Green clears it out of the zone, but Mats Naslund didn't see it coming. Bork back for it. Bork fires. Deflects out to Bob Sweeney. Sweeney moving in against Rick Green. Toward the net, Green broke it up. Sweeney plays it again around for Lyndon Byers. Green knocked away from him. Joyce kicks it free, and it's taken back by Svoboda. Sends out Smith. Bobby Smith, who's had just 2 assists in this series. The leading point scorer for Montreal this season with 93 points has had just 2 assists in 4 games plus.
And the other thing is Mats Naslund has not done anything defensively.
Smith on the rush. Smith slowed down by Wesley toward the net. They did a job on Gilles Thibodeau. He was taken down, and the Bruins come out. Robinson takes it from Roy, moves it out of the zone for Thibodeau. Taken back. Bork moves in. Thibodeau checking him. Bork still with it. Bork centers, but it's deflected. And Carbonneau will play it for Montreal. Lead for Kordic, but look at Bork get back to break it up. Ray Bork. His playing time during the season, because of the improved defense of the Boston Bruins, was down to about 25 minutes a game. And they feel he's fresher in the playoffs and can go for 35 minutes a game in the playoffs.
Well, it looks that way, although Bork doesn't agree with that totally.
He just likes more ice time.
That's right.
Puck deflects up into the crowd. 16:01 to go, second period. And the Bruins have quieted the Montreal crowd.
The Porsche 944. The Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon. To you, they're 2 completely different cars. But to a radar gun, they look exactly alike.
Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito. Tom Bees in the studio on our road to the Stanley Cup. And the Boston Bruins trying to take a major step forward and advance to the conference final if they can win tonight. Tomorrow night, Game 5 of the Norris Division Final with Detroit leading St. Louis 3-1. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement will be at Joe Louis Arena to bring you Game 5 tomorrow night. Shot by Ludwig, knocked down. Shot by Chelios, save made by Lemelin as he continues to frustrate the Montreal Canadiens. Penalties called in front. Looks like 1 for each side.
I think Kluzak's going to go for cross-checking, I believe.
And maybe Claude Lemieux.
It was Wesley.
Let's see.
It was Wesley.
Wesley for Boston, but somebody's also going for Montreal. 15:48 to go in the second period. Boston leading 2-0.
It is no big deal. It's a hassle. Oh, it's called Master Care Car Service. Brakes, tune-ups, alignments. No big deal. The mechanics are great. All their equipment, you can swear they were technicians. And they stand behind their work 6 months or 6,000 miles. Master Care. You're covered from Maine to Missoula. These guys are so good. Fixing your car is no big deal.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care Car Service by Firestone.
But I thought they just sold tires.
Glenn Wesley gets cross-checking right here as he knocks down the Montreal Canadian Claude Lemieux. And you can see Newell right watching it, and the Canadians go on a power play.
My mistake. I thought Newell had pointed to 2 players. It's only 1. 4th power play for Montreal in the game. Claude Lemieux back to Chelios. Long shot blocked by Alan Peterson. Into the corner. Skrudland, Lemieux, and McPhee up front for Montreal. Chelios and Robinson at the point. Chelios to Robinson. Long shot deflected by Casper. Robinson took so long to get that shot off. Casper got over to block it. Robinson couldn't keep it in the zone. Bruins break it out. Casper has it. Casper against Chelios, joined by Burridge. Feed for Burridge just off the end of his stick. Chelios has the puck. Canadiens 0 for 23 on the power play in the series. McPhee winds it around. Near side, Greg Johnston is hit by Claude Lemieux, trying to force it out of the zone. He did the job. Linsman takes it and moves down against Mike McPhee. Linsman hit by Chelios, but Johnston plays it across. Greg Johnston, who played his first full season in the National Hockey League last year with Boston, doing the job. This is his first playoff game this season. Chelios toward the net, deflected wide. 50 seconds to go in the Montreal power play. Svoboda around for Naslund. Naslund checked by Kluzak. Walter is set up in front. He doesn't see him. Naslund to Svoboda. Across to Chelios. 2 men in front. It's out of the zone. Linsman's got it. Blocked by Svoboda. Naslund takes it back. Coming in, deflected by Bourque.
But you said it all, Sam, when you said Robinson took too long to shoot it.
Naslund takes the puck away. Looking in front for Dahlin, who was blocked by Bourque. Gets it to Dahlin. Slides to the net. Lemelin poked it. Bourque clears it.
Because that's exactly what's happening to both power plays. Not only Montreal's, the Boston Bruins, too. The point men are taking too long to get rid of it.
Carbonneau moving in. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Larson stays with him. Carbonneau tied up. Burridge plays the boards. Lawler comes down. Left the puck behind him. Casper gave it away to Dahlin. Lawler's got it, but Wesley is back on. Teams are at full strength, and Montreal is 0 for 4 on the power play. 13:40 to go, second period. Boston still leading 2-0. Svoboda. The Boston Bruins, who are second overall during the regular season in the National Hockey League. Did I say Boston?
Yeah,
Montreal Canadiens were second overall. In danger of being eliminated tonight. Sent all the way down. Peterson will go back to make the touch, and icing is called. 13:13 to go. Second period. Get a little get-together as Charbonneau was knocked down, but play is stopped with Boston leading.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
Charbonneau should be...
Well, both teams could use a little power play instruction from the Phil Esposito school of power plays.
I don't know about that, but 0 for 24. Wow.
It's unbelievable.
Montreal
But
Canadiens.
there are several contributing factors, you know, and we pointed them out before. There's good goaltending, there's good tight checking, and these are excellent penalty-killing units.
44 seconds in Boston zone. They didn't even get a shot on net.
Charbonneau tied up the line by Wesley. Boston's defense has been outstanding throughout this series. Bump along the boards on Carbonneau. Got it to Charbonneau. It's deflected in the air, and Neely plays it. Neely comes out, finds Bob Joyce, couldn't play it, and Chelios goes back the other way. Carbonneau. The Bruins break it up once again in center ice. Chelios gets into the zone. Chelios against Peterson. His shot blocked. Peterson does it again, and Bourque clears the zone. Craig Ludwig. Bruins send it in and go for a change, and Craig Ludwig plays it. A quiet Montreal Forum, their largest crowd of the season. They've had very little to cheer about since early in the first period, when the Canadiens were pressing, but could not break through. Bobby Smith feeds Mats Naslund. Naslund toward the net against Bourque. Naslund around the net, slides it all the way through. Penalty called. Blood took down Corson. Penalty upcoming on the Boston Bruins. Blood for holding.
He just tackled Shane Corson on the side of the net. Look at Smith and Peterson untangling.
Bobby Smith did not have a shot on goal in Game 4, has not had a shot on goal tonight.
Corson gets up really gingerly on that knee.
May not have mentioned earlier that Bob Gainey, who played valiantly in Game 4, is out of the lineup tonight because the foot injury, the bruised foot, which may be a cracked bone, the foot swelled up on him and he was unable to play. Unable to get the boot on and unable to skate. for holding at 8:12.
Here we go again. Montreal on another power play.
Correction on that. It's 8:02, the time of the penalty.
Well, let's take a look at it. Watch the right side of your screen. There he is right in the middle as he grabs Corson and pulls him down as Naslund came around and tried to do a stuffer.
Fifth power play of the game. Willie Platter started with the Flames, played in Minnesota. Briefly acquired by the Rangers, but then picked up by the Bruins in the waiver draft, and a good pickup for them.
It has been a good pickup for the Boston Bruins.
Chelios, long shot, off the blocker of Lemelin and up into the crowd. What a story Reggie Lemelin has been. 33-year-old goaltender. 6-1 thus far in the playoffs.
They're calling this face-off outside because it looks like it hits the Montreal Canadian player, Claude Lemieux. It doesn't look like to me. It's like Reggie Lemelin deflected that puck, but the Montreal Canadiens aren't complaining about it, so the face-off's outside.
Smith, Dahlin, and Lemieux up front for Montreal. Chelios and Robinson at the points.
The only other thing was it could have hit the crossbar, which we could maybe didn't see.
Okay, that's possible. Chelios. Talking about the power play with Coach John Perron and reading about what some of the people up here are saying about Montreal's power play. Stéphane Richer, so important to the power play. He feels that things just disintegrated when he went down with the injury. And then Richer says he thinks some of his teammates aren't willing to pay the price and go in front of the net. Smith chases the puck. He's taken down by Bourque. Fans wanted a penalty called. None was called. And Kluzak cleared the puck up into the crowd.
It was interesting. As he went down, Bobby Smith, with the check by Bourque, Dave Newell was skating behind, just shaking his head no. Right away, he just shook his head no, as Ray Bourque, as he played hockey for this team. Well, the two games we've seen doing the broadcast, he's been outstanding.
Norris Trophy winner last season, and a good chance to repeat. It should be very close, I think, but he's got a shot at repeating as the Norris Trophy winner.
I don't think he's had as good a season as he did last year, but boy, he is so important to that Boston Bruin hockey team.
Linsman against Ryan Walter. Walter, Corson, and Naslund up front for Montreal. Walter wins it to Robinson. Chelios couldn't handle the pass. Chelios back to Robinson. Lines and shoots wide. Linsman clears the zone.
Again, Larry Robinson took all that time to shoot it, and then he misses the net.
Larry Robinson playing his 182nd career playoff game, but he has not been a factor in this series. Along the boards, Naslund has it. Back to Robinson. Chelios one-times it, blocked in front, rebound missed by Walter. Still loose, Walter knocked down, so's Corson. Naslund has the puck, back to Chelios. Naslund moves in, back to Chelios. Fakes, and another pass. Robinson plays it, Bourque goes back up the boards, kept in by Chelios.
What action in front of that net a little while ago.
Peterson knocked it away from Naslund, good play. Linsman clears the zone, 30 seconds to go in the power play for Montreal.
Corson and Bourque. Bourque pushed him out of the way with a cross-check. Corson turned around and gave him a little spear. Referee just looked at it and let it go.
Gilles Thibodeau moves into the Boston zone against Kluzak. The big guy stays with him. Loose puck. Corson gets to it. Kluzak pokes it away to Wesley. Around the boards, kept in, but deflected by Burridge, who brings it out. Burridge comes down, stopped by Thibodeau. He feeds Casper. Casper scores! What a play by Burridge and Casper. It's 3-0 Boston.
Well, we told you that Steve Casper loves to play in the Montreal form. He always has good games here. And I don't know whether that goal was shorthanded or not, because Fleck was just coming back on. It wasn't.
Teams were back at full strength.
Well, let's take a look now. Watch how this plays. There's Larry Robinson. He shoots it across. It's intercepted by Burridge. Now, as he's coming back, Thibodeau, now watch Robinson come over. He had no business coming over, but he thought that Bobby Smith had Casper. Now, Bobby Smith did not do the job on Casper, and bango, he puts it into the net.
Boston Bruins' first shot on goal of this period at 10:02. It's in the net. Boston leads 3-0. And the Bruins capitalizing on every Montreal mistake. Bruins goaltending is better than Montreal's. Roy has not been sharp at all. Lemelin has. And the Bruins are halfway toward eliminating the Montreal Canadiens. We're past the midway point of the game. Along the boards, LeMay. A shot blocked by Lawler. Roy throws it against the boards. Thibodeau moves it to Kordic. And the Bruins recover. The goal, Casper, is fourth of the playoffs from Burridge at 10:02. And those two combining on 2 of the 3 Boston goals. And they work beautifully together.
Sure did.
Neely sends in Joyce. Joyce shoots, save one. The rebound cleared by Green. Neely's got it. Neely toward the net, stick to side. Joyce has got it. Wraparound goes through. Skrudland gets to it, but beaten to it by Neely. Now it's Green moving it to McPhee. Race for the puck. Skrudland coming down. Peterson comes back. What a play by Peterson, the big defenseman, hustling back. Lemieux comes out of the corner. Back to Ludwig. The shot blocked in front. Here come the Bruins. Craig Janney comes down. Ludwig gets back to him. Janney sets it up with room. He shoots. Save made off the right pad by Patrick Roy. Chelios for Montreal. And now Ludwig. But it's Boston leading 3-0. Montreal Canadiens have scored 1 goal against the Boston Bruins in 2.5 games.
Janney thought he had a breakaway, but Swoboda just had been coming off a change.
Swoboda back for the puck. And now the boos start here at the Forum in Montreal. Chelios. 8 minutes to go in the second period. 3-0 Boston as LeMay takes the puck. The Wales Conference Finals will begin next Monday, so if the Bruins can wrap it up, they can get some rest. Heal some bruises. Get ready. If they can wrap it up here, but there's still a ways to go. 7.5 minutes to go second period, but right now, Montreal looking frustrated, unable to get anything going, and the Bruins dominating play. Lemelin out to play the puck. Robinson keeps it in. Larson drops it in the corner, but Joyce didn't see it. Walter hit by Larson, shot by Carbonneau, saved by Lemelin. Bourque moves it. Walter stops it in the corner and centers all the way through. Charbonneau to Carbonneau. The pass blocked. I'd like to say that once in a while. Bob Sweeney comes down. Across the line, Sweeney for Larson. Knocked away by Green. Naslin tied up, but the Canadiens able to clear. 6:45 to go in the second period. Phil, what can Montreal do? Is there anything they can do to get going?
The only thing, look at this. Giving the puck away.
Again.
It's their big guns, the guys like the Naslins and the guys like Bobby Smith. They're the guys that really, I think, are the only guys that are going to get them going. Not Larry Robinson.
Patrick Roy stops the puck. Following the second period, we'll have a special guest up here in the broadcast booth. Former Montreal Canadien Chris Nyland, who's been involved in so many battles between Montreal and Boston. Chris Nyland now with the New York Rangers. And a lot of people writing up here that one of the differences in this series is the absence of a Chris Nyland for Montreal, that they miss his leadership.
So all I can tell you is I know how he is in the dressing room, and I know how he is with the players on the New York Rangers. And I would be very surprised if they didn't miss him.
5:45 to go in the second period. This will be an icing. Swoboda comes back and makes the touch. 5:38 on the clock. Steve Casper has a goal here in the second period, and Boston moves closer to eliminating Montreal.
Hey, Walter, what's up?
With great taste and just 1 calorie, Diet Coke is the one soft drink everyone's falling for.
Hi.
Hi.
1 calorie just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito live at the Forum in Montreal on the road to the Stanley Cup. Tom B standing by in the studio, keep you up to date on the Patrick Division Final, Game 5 at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland, and New Jersey leading Washington 2-0. On goals by Muller and Curvers. Linsman against Thibodeau. Linsman wins the draw. Linsman has won a lot of them in this series. He's been outstanding. Toward the net, deflected by Kordic. Dahlin gets to it. In front, Thibodeau, and it's smothered, but it's scored! Kordic breaks the shutout as he went to the net. Lemelin made the first stop, and Montreal has light with 5:25 to go in the second period. John Kordic puts them on the board.
Well, the guy they said was going to take the place of Chris Nyland, it's ironic he gets the goal. Now let's see if this works for the Montreal Canadiens. Now watch Kordic. He's the man right in front of the net now. He goes off to the side, and he just picks up a rebound as Kluzak does not pick up his man. Another look at it. Watch Kluzak now. He just missed his check. That's all it was, and Kordic puts it into the wide-open cage. A mistake by the Boston Bruins, and the Montreal Canadiens capitalize.
3-1 as the crowd here at the Forum comes alive. And now the Canadiens move on. Dahlin around Wesley. It's stopped by Lemelin.
What
Big
a big save that was. That's a big save.
The feed for Ludwig. The shot deflected. Dahlin checked by Wesley, who moves the puck up the boards. Robinson pinches. Wesley takes it back and clears the zone.
Montreal Canadiens now, if they don't get fired up by that goal, then it's all over for them.
Stolen by Joyce, but poked away by Robinson. Larson's got it. 4:45 to go in the second period. 3-1 Boston. The Forum alive for the first time since early in the first period. Lemelin moves the puck to Burridge. He sends out Kasper. Kasper moving in. Pass blocked by Chelios. Kasper gets it back, feeds Burridge. He shoots wide. Kasper tied up by Chelios in the corner. They go down. Plutt comes over to poke it free. Svoboda has it. To Chelios. Kasper stays on him. Out come the Canadiens. Lemieux to McPhee. They move into the Boston zone. Goodland pushes it ahead. The puck is loose and Lemieux's got it. Lemieux tied up by Kasper. Along the boards, Chelios. Back behind the net, Lemieux. Skrudland lost his stick. It's out by the blue line. And you can't play offense without a stick.
It's not like you can kick it in.
That's right. 3:40 to go in the second period. Svoboda. Off the stick to Brian Walter. In comes Lyndon Byers. Byers against Svoboda. They go into the corner. Carbonneau works it free. Taken back. Nice setup for LeMay. Saved by Roy.
There's a big save.
That's it up in the air. It's still loose. Lemieux's got it. Now it's Carbonneau. Played off the boards. Carbonneau upended. Knocks it away from Wesley. But Carbonneau gets it back. Centers for Carbonneau. His shot goes wide. LeMay can't clear. Lawler toward the net. Deflection save by Lemelin. Tremendous save. Walter hit by Sweeney. The centering pass off the stick from Lawler. Good pressure by the Canadiens. Charbonneau's pass deflects to Carbonneau. He gets it back for Green, but it was broken up by Byers. Charbonneau to Carbonneau. He's checked by Sweeney. Bruins trying to freeze the puck down. They get it back. Gain control. And it's cleared. Bruins need to stop, and they go for the icing. Green makes the touch. Play is stopped with 2:31 to go, second period. The Canadiens coming on. They trail 3-1.
The Porsche 944. The Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon. To you, they're two completely different cars. But to a radar gun, they look exactly alike.
Reggie Lemelin, I'm sorry, Sam. Reggie Lemelin looks like what he's doing right here is delaying the game, obviously. But I guess maybe he's wearing a contact lens because he's fooling around with his eyes. Maybe he's wearing contacts. That's Ron Corey, the president, and John Perron. Ron Corey's the man right there on the left with the blue suit on, leaning over. He was standing up, leading the cheers.
Well, as you said,
look at him smiling.
If he's wearing the contacts, it's easy to say, hey,
that's
Dave,
right.
I have problems seeing. My contact is misplaced.
There's
Look at
one.
That save.
That's a good save on a tip. Look at the slash Carbonneau did on Wesley. Got away.
Reggie Lemelin. As the Canadians finally broke through after 4.5 periods of being shut out by Lemelin. Kordic got the Montreal goal at 14:35, his second of the playoffs from Thibodeau and Dahlin.
You know, you said, what can the Canadians do? And that's go to the net, and that's what Kordic did, and that's where the puck was.
Smith, Naslund, and Corson. Chelios overskates the puck. Out comes Neely.
Tough game.
Neely moves in against Ludwig. Neely shoots, save, Wah! He's made a couple of good saves here. In front, Chelios clears it aside. Ludwig takes a hit, kept in by Bork. Chelios with Janney on him. Now it's Ludwig. Here comes Montreal. Shane Corson leaves it for Bobby Smith. Smith slowed up by Larson, puts it in front. Bork intercept with Corson going right to the net. Good play by the Canadiens. Just under 2 minutes to go in the second period. Offside Montreal. Naslund was trapped in the zone. 1:53 to go in the second period. 3-1, Boston leading it.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
Montreal Canadiens on the brink of elimination. Down 3-1 with 1:53 to go in the second period. Boston Bruins trying to rid themselves of all the ghosts of the playoff series against the Canadiens, which date back to 1943. The last time the Bruins won a playoff series from Montreal. Where were you, Phil?
1943? 1 year old. 1 year old. I was 1 year old.
So you missed that series.
Yeah.
Lemelin has been excellent in this series and excellent tonight. Patrick Roy has come up with some good saves in the second period.
I think he's come up with about 3 or 4 tough saves after Montreal scored the goal. He made some good saves to keep it.
Kordic back on. Kordic has shown some good offensive skills.
He sure has.
They've let him play.
And you know, the other thing is, Sam, in this period, the Canadians, I don't know the real stats yet, but we will. They seem to be stronger on faceoffs than they were in the first period.
8-2.
Okay.
You're right about that, centerman. Thibodeau takes this draw against Linsman.
Well, Linsman is strong on the draw.
Ooh, Thibodeau got a shot off right from the faceoff.
And whenever that guy puts his hand backwards like that, he can only go back. So if you're a left-hand shot, you might as well try shooting at the net.
Smart play. Dahlin trying to get away from Kluzak. Shot by Thibodeau high and off the glass. Kordic's got it. Pressure by the Canadiens again. Kordic checked by Glenn Wesley. Linsman lifts the puck out of the zone. 1:20 to go in the second period. Svoboda with Crowder chasing. Finds Gilles Thibodeau. Misconnection on the pass. Thibodeau picks it up. Now it's Larry Robinson. Dahlin leads Robinson. All the way around the ledge. It drops down to Moldovan. It's hit hard by Kordic. 1 minute to go in the second period. We'll be talking with Chris Nyland, former Montreal Canadien, now New York Ranger. He's doing some radio work up here in Montreal. Talk to him following the second period. Rick Green finds Mike McPhee. McPhee hasn't been out all that much in this second period. Down the ice it slides. Green back for it, and icing is called on Boston with 34 seconds to go in this second period. Burridge was there for Boston. Randy Burridge has had a fine game. Had a good offensive season for the Boston Bruins.
Again, a meeting. That's what happened when Burridge went into Green, who went back to touch the puck, and then Chelios bumps into Burridge. And then Lemieux comes in.
A lot of talking, nothing happening, and we'll resume play. We'll resume our road to the Stanley Cup tomorrow night from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, where Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement will bring you Game 5 of the Norris Division Final, with Detroit looking to wrap up that series and set up a Campbell Conference Final against the Edmonton Oilers. Detroit leading St. Louis 3-1. McPhee gets a shot off stick to side by Lemelin. Kluzak on the stick of Sweeney. Chelios goes over to check him. Green avoids Sweeney. Boston with just 5 shots on goal in the second period. Montreal with 8. Each team with a goal in the second. Boston leading 3-1. All the way around, Sweeney taps it to Bourque, who clears the zone. And that's it. Second period is over. Claude Lemieux is upended in the Boston zone. The linesmen get there before anything can happen. The teams go off. Montreal may have 1 period left of their season.